Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this video today is just a quick video with regards to watch insurance. I was asked this question by Samuel Chow, who's one of our new subscribers to the channel, and he just wanted to ask me what insurance company I'm using. And I just like to, I guess, frame my view on this with a quick look at this particular watch, which, as you can see, is quite an old vintage Seconda. This is a manual wind 17 jewel Seconda. It's got a 35mm case diameter. It's a fairly small watch. It's gold plated. It's not actually a gold watch, it's gold plated. It's got an 18mm lug width, and it's on a fairly tatty old strap. Now I've kind of looked at this watch and tried to date it. It goes back to the mid-70s. The reason I can tell that is because actually on the bottom of the dial, just under the 6, very difficult to see, but it actually says made in USSR. So it's made in the old Soviet Union, and I gather, having done some further investigation into this, that a lot of manual wind movements were made in the Ukraine back in the 70s and 80s, supplied to lots of watch companies, including Seconda. And back then, of course, it was part of the Soviet Union, so it's got made in the USSR written on the bottom of the dial. Look, it's a lovely watch. The reason this watch actually is, in terms of value, worth about, I don't know, $50. It's really not worth much at all on the used market. There's nothing particularly special about it. But it's very special to me because it used to be my granddad's watch. Back in the 1970s and 80s, he wore this watch every day. Sadly passed away many years ago, and this watch was passed on to me back then. So this watch has an awful lot of sentimental value to me. And in terms of monetary value, it's not worth anything really. So I wouldn't be able to insure it for anything more than, 20 or 30 bucks possibly. And this is to my point, guys, with regards to watch insurance, is why do you actually want watch insurance? Surely the most important thing to protect your collection, if you like, is to make sure that nothing bad happens to it in the first place. So really, I just wanted to have a quick conversation today about protecting your watch collection. It's up to you if you want to go out and get watch insurance. There are lots of insurance companies out there that will insure your watch for various issues that may occur, like theft, like your house burns down, for example. But my view on this is that you have to look at prevention rather than cure. So my view is, if you want to protect your watch collection, absolute number one, most important thing that you need to consider is get yourself a good safe. So a safe, you can go to the local DIY shop in town and get a safe. I went to mine recently when I wanted to get a safe for my ever-growing collection. I think I spent a couple of $100 and got a safe which is rated for fire protection as well. So not only will it keep the watches secure, because it's under lock and key, but it also keeps the watches resistant to fire, which means that if my house were, heaven forbid, to burn down, then theoretically my safe should be still sat there with the watches intact inside. And the other thing I just wanted to talk to you about, guys, was get a house alarm as well. So in terms of protecting your watch collection, once it's in a safe, that's fine, but of course, as we know, once somebody breaks into your house, the first thing they're going to want to do is try and find your safe. So two things there: put your safe somewhere where it's very, very difficult for anybody to locate it. Don't tell anybody outside of the close family where it is, of course. Don't tell anybody where it is if you can help it. And secondly, get a house alarm. So prevent people from getting into your house in the first place. And what you have there then is 2 layers of insurance, for not just for your watch collection, but for all of your personal belongings, of course. And just finally, guys, I was going to say, and this might sound really obvious, but I think it's really important too, is don't wear your watch somewhere where it's clearly going to be attractive to potential thieves. And I think we all know what I mean here. City centres, buses and trains, where there are people where you're not entirely sure of their background and where they've come from, random strangers that might just be on that train for the very reason that they want to see what you've got on your wrist and part you with it. So be streetwise, guys. I think that's the most important thing. A good example of that recently is that last year I went to Paris for a week on holiday with the family, and I got my watch collection out and I thought, well, which watch am I going to take to Paris? And I did a little bit of homework on Paris, and I specifically Googled crime in Paris, watch crime in Paris. And guess what? It's one of the hottest places in the world for watches being stolen from people's wrists. Very, very common. Lots and lots of people reporting on there about petty crime in the centre of Paris, particularly on the trains. So, yeah, I didn't take an expensive watch with me. I wore a cheap, inexpensive watch and thought, hey, no one's going to want to part company with this watch because realistically it's not worth anything. That way my watches stay nice and cozy in the safe. And really, honestly guys, this is about being streetwise, isn't it? So that's my feedback really on this subject is, yes, if you want to get insurance for your watch collection, go ahead. There are lots of insurance companies out there that will happily part you with your money for a premium. Whether you get the full value of the watch back if something were to happen is questionable. My recommendation would be to read every word of the small print on the policy as well to make sure that what you think is covered is actually covered. But my advice personally, get a safe, get a house alarm and be streetwise. They're the three things, guys, that I recommend for keeping your watches safe. Thanks for watching this video, and let me know what your thoughts are, because I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that have got a different view on this to me, but this is mine and I look forward to reading about yours in the comments. Thanks guys.